Dare I say that the Maple Leafs were one game away from it actually maybe being our year here in Toronto? Is that fair to say that the Leafs were kind of one game away and that last night could have been the Leafs? Toronto was the only team to push Florida to 7 games, and they did so with their backup goaltender, Ned Joseph Woll, with their captain, Auston Matthews, playing at 50% health. Matty Nye is injured in Game 7. We found out after the series Tanev and McCabe were playing pretty badly hurt. Oh, and Mitch Marner was mentally checked out most of the second round. He may as well not even have been playing. Despite all that, the Leafs were still the only team to push Florida to 7 games. This juggernaut, this wagon of an organization. Florida might be the greatest team that's ever been assembled in NHL history. You got to take your hats off to them. They only lost 5 regulation games this entire playoff run. 3 of them were at the hands of the Leafs. Edmonton didn't do it once. Game 3 is going to be the game that haunts us for the rest of our lives. The Brad Marchand overtime winner, the opportunity to go up 3-0. That's the game we tell our grandkids about. That's what's going to haunt me more than, Game 5 and Game 7. It's unbelievable. I don't know if Florida wins the Stanley Cup without Brad Marchand on the roster. The trade for the Rat may be the greatest trade ever made in NHL history. And although Bennett won the MVP, again, I don't know if Florida wins if they don't have him in this postseason. I don't think either of those guys, Bennett or Marchand, are going to come to Toronto now. They're probably going to stay in Florida, try and do the three-peat. I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, they wouldn't have beat Carolina. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? The momentum and confidence that Toronto would have carried into the third round, they would have found a way to beat Freddie Anderson and the Carolina Hurricanes. And evidently, as we found out in this final, Edmonton doesn't have any goaltending. It's one of the biggest crimes of the century that they've put McDavid through his prime without a proper goaltender. You shut him and Draisaitl down. They don't have much. If the Leafs were healthy, I would have liked their chances in the final versus Edmonton. I feel bad for Oilers fans. I do. You've been through a lot of heartbreak. I feel your pain. And that's that. As gross as it is to see Florida get their second Stanley Cup in a calendar year, to see Gary Bettman get his way, and to see this Florida Panthers fan base that doesn't deserve it get another one, it is comforting to know that, in the famous words of John Tavares, the Leafs are kind of right there. They really are. They're going to retool in the offseason. They're going to get better in the offseason. They'll sign guys that want to be here, that hopefully have some playoff DNA. And, Florida's going to be favorites again next year. We're coming for the Cats, and we'll be right there with them again next year. Last thing I'll say is this. Toronto is the only team that can return the cup to Canada. Toronto's curse is the only thing that can break Canada's cup curse. 2 negatives will eventually equal a positive. It's the Leafs or bust in Canada. And that's that. Guys, drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Next year might be our year. And we'll see you soon.